Yes, that's right. The title is not clickbait. Console gaming is effectively better than PC gaming. What's up, guys? Veteran Gamer here. And I know this is a hot topic, and I know the PC community is going to want to ream me for this, but it's true. It's true. Console gaming is actually superior to PC gaming. And if I had to put it to one reason and one reason only, it comes down to two words: value proposition. The footage in the background is two playthroughs that are identical for Cyberpunk 2077. The first one is on PlayStation 4, running on PlayStation 5, and of course, PC, max settings, full ray tracing, all the bells and whistles. Essentially, when you see the footage in the background, in my experience playing Cyberpunk 2077, I never noticed a difference in terms of the core experience of the game. For starters, this was not my first playthrough on either version. It was actually my second and third playthrough. While I was playing on the PlayStation version, never at any point did I feel like I was missing out playing the PlayStation version over the PC version. Granted, when it comes to raw performance and graphical fidelity, there's no denying that PC gaming will always be the top dog. No matter what platform it is, no matter what console generation it is, PC will always be the top in terms of running the game the best it possibly can, because the limitations of PC gaming is only what your budget is. If you're willing to spend the money, you can have limitless performance. That's basically what it comes down to. But that doesn't mean it is the best option for casual players or for just a general consumer. To put this into perspective, the PlayStation 5 and Series X in Canada is $600 plus tax. You cannot build a PC with equal performance for that price. To put it into perspective, my local computer store, brand new RTX 2060 graphics cards, retails for $670 before tax. That's already the price of a console, and you still got to buy the rest of the components. If you decide to sit there and say, oh, I'm going to buy a pre-built, the same retailer had pre-built PCs with RTX 2070 Supers, and it was about $2,200 for a pre-built PC. Almost 4 times the price of what you would pay for the console. This is, of course, all on top of the fact that console gaming is virtually plug and play. Set it up, turn it on. If you have a physical copy, throw in the disc. If you're buying it digital, go onto the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store, buy your game, download, done. On PC, even after you set it up, oh, you want to play games? Well, what do you want to play it on? Do you want to play it on Steam? Is it on Battle.net? Is it on Ubisoft Store? You get where I'm going with this. It's more. There's more complications with PC than there is for console. What people need to realize is that I'm not saying that console gaming is better than PC from a hardware perspective. It really isn't. But what I'm saying is, for the average consumer, the general audience, which is the majority of people who play games, want their games to look and run great for a reasonable price. That's it. And they only want to purchase one box to do so. With PC gaming, in order to get all the bells and whistles, you are legitimately paying a premium price to do it. Now, the old saying goes, you get what you pay for. This is true. So if you're willing to pay that premium price, you will get the better performance. Now, I know some people are going to sit there and say, hey, VG, man, you don't need to buy a 3080 Ti to run games. You're right, you don't. But even if you take a PC at a budget price, you're still paying more than you would for a console. And if you're not going to buy or play PC exclusive games, what are you doing? Why would you want to spend more money to play a game that's on a console for less money? To put more perspective into this, the PlayStation 5 and Series X, every game that has been officially supported for those consoles has at the very least an option for 60 frames per second and sometimes an option for 120 frames per second. Why would you want to buy PC hardware that is weaker than that hardware for more money? It doesn't make sense, unless of course you're going for exclusives. So if you're going to get into PC gaming and you're sitting there saying, well, I want to make sure my stuff runs better than those consoles, where you're paying that premium price, which, as stated, it's almost like 4 times what you're going to spend for the console. PC gaming, don't get me wrong, I'm saying this as someone who loves PC gaming. I'm a PC gamer myself, and it's hard to admit it. But when you think about value proposition and maximizing your dollar, making your dollar go as far as it can, the consoles is the way to go. Heck, if you really, really, really want to stretch your money, you can buy an Xbox Series S, which is even cheaper, it's about $400 Canadian, and sign up to Game Pass. And with the recent acquisition that Microsoft did of Activision Blizzard, you're getting a shit ton of games part of Game Pass when that deal closes. So, at the end of the day, when you all break it down, you can't deny the value proposition of a console in comparison to PC. And as you're seeing in the footage in the background, when I played Cyberpunk 2077, the PlayStation version never felt like I was missing out. The core experience was the same. I felt it was the same game. I even played on PC using a controller at times to mimic the feeling, and it felt the same. The only thing that stood out to me from the PC version versus the PlayStation version was the immersion and atmosphere. And that's because the population density in the open world on PlayStation is on the low setting, while on PC, I had it on the max setting, so the city felt far more alive. So the immersion was much better. Don't get me wrong, ray tracing is great. The enhanced textures, smoke effects, lighting, the whole bells and whistles. Yeah, it's a prettier version, but the experience is the same. The only other time that you would have felt a difference is with frame rates. On PC, I was hitting 90 to 100 frames, but on PlayStation, because I was playing on the PS5, I was getting 60 frames. One of the reasons why PC gaming is a thing and why people love it is because of the limitless frame rates that you can go for. For people who sit there and say, oh, but I want to play on PC because I like the input, I like keyboard and mouse. Both the PlayStation 5 and Series X support keyboard and mouse input natively. So that idea of playing keyboard and mouse, it's an option for you, even on the console. The only reasons to be playing PC over console is because you're someone like me who loves the maximum performance, you're an aspiring content creator or an aspiring pro player, or you just want the exclusives games like Valorant, Escape from Tarkov, World of Warcraft, etc. If you do not fit into that category, there's no sense in PC gaming. The PC marketplace is a very large marketplace, but it doesn't exceed the casual marketplace. The PC space, even though there's a large audience and there's a large demand for it, it's still a niche audience. There's a reason why Microsoft has embraced PC and allowing their games to go on PC day and date. There's a reason why Sony thus far has started to port their games over, and it looks like at some point they may go day and date as well. It all boils down to one thing. The PC space, as good as it is for raw performance, requires a premium price, and that's a niche audience. For the most consumers, they want to purchase one box, have the game look and run good at a reasonable price, and that's what consoles offer. So when I recommend to people who are looking to get into gaming or looking to say, hey, what should I buy? I always recommend a console. End of the day. Because the console is the best for value proposition. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.